friends, welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. So today I have the honor of being one of the presenters for a collaboration between Whimsy Stamps and the Cardstock Warehouse. And the combination of papers that the Cardstock Warehouse has sent us are just amazing. I can't wait to share these with you. The specific collection is called the Island Breeze, and they are just fabulous. So many wonderful combinations. So let's go ahead and change our view and take a look at them. All right, so here they are, and it just, I can combine them in so many ways, but we have bubble gum, we have canary, and look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at the bubblegum and canary with the chocolate. I just love that combination. Makes me want to create like a chocolate candy card. Then we have three lovely blues. We have beach blue, we have splash, and we have saltwater. Aren't those beautiful blues? All the colors are so vibrant. I then have Kelly green and lime green. And then to finish it out, we have chocolate, craft, and this fantastic white cardstock. And I share all these with you, and because I really want you to see how they all work together. It's just been so nice to work with, and I want to show you some different color combinations. Like I said, we have these three, which just make me want to do like a chocolate shop or something like that. And then you throw in maybe some of the blues, and again, what a fun combination. And then you maybe take the green. Let's take out the pink. Have some of the blues in there with some of the greens. Just so many ways, and I'm going to hold these up. The colors are just so deep and vibrant. So I have something to kind of show you the difference when we get to the end. Because you're only looking at this cardstock, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. But when I hold it up next to some others, you're going to see what I mean. So let's get started with our card now that we've seen the paper. And I did want to tell you, they sent us as well 2 card blanks, and they're like a beautiful pearlescent. Can you see that? So we'll be using one of those. And they also sent matching envelopes to go, and they too are that pretty pearlescent. So how fun is that? So to get started, I'm also going to run through the products I'm using from Whimsy Stamps. I'm going to be using the Fairy Garden, Build a Fairy Garden. I'm going to be using the brand new Bunny Garden dies. This one is called the Wild Weeds. I always just call it the weed set, but I know there's an adjective there that makes it sound prettier, and they're wild weeds. Then we've got the clouds and the grass there, and then the sprinkled frames. So those are the ones I'm going to be using today. So we're going to begin with our die cuts. I went ahead and cut myself a piece of craft cardstock, and all of the paper I'm using today, everything, even what I stamped and colored on, are all the collaboration paper from Cardstock Warehouse. So let's see, I believe, yes, I cut this to 5.5 by 4.25. I used one of the card blanks to go ahead and cut myself a frame out of that beautiful pearlescent paper because it was just so pretty. I wanted it on the front of my card, as well as the card blank that I'm going to use is also going to be that pearlescent. Then for the sky, I chose to use a piece of the saltwater paper. And you can see here I've got my pile of goodies that we're going to create our scene with. This is a piece of the Kelly green. I also made some of my weeds out of the Kelly green. Oops, let me pull it all down a bit so you can see. There we go. And then I made some of my flowers here out of the lime green. And for my flowers, I have made some of them in the splash. I think the splash is the darker one. And the other blue, that other blue, ocean. No, beach blue, that's what it's called. This one's beach blue, and this one is splash. It's hard to keep all these new color names straight. There we go. So we have our flowers. Then for our mushrooms, I had to use the canary and the bubble gum. I also cut some of the mushrooms out in the white as well. All right, to get these mushrooms ready to use, I am going to ink them just a little bit. And today I'm using a distress ink. I'm doing the Picked Raspberry, and this is not oxide, it's just regular distress ink. And I'm just going to lightly go over the edges on one side, create just a little bit of shadow on one side. And this paper just takes the ink so beautifully. I didn't get any heavy ink on it. It just blended right on there, and I'm not sure how well it's showing up. Let me do it just a little heavier so that you can see it on the camera. And I just want that shading to be on one side of my mushroom. All right. Now for this one, same thing. And on this one, I'm going to go on both sides. All right. Now to build up my mushroom, I'm going to take the yellow piece and go ahead and just trim off the stem. Now there is a piece that you can put with this that would give you a nice bottom of the mushroom. I chose not to use that this time. I thought the chocolate color was a little too dark for that specific place, and because I was using my craft cardstock in another way, I decided not to use that piece. But it does come in the paper pack. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer up all my die cuts. So let me know in the comments, has anybody ever purchased and used paper from the Cardstock warehouse? I went to their website. They have a lot of beautiful products, but I have to say, after using their paper, I am definitely going to get myself some. I can't wait to show you how it colored up as well, because I'm pretty picky about the paper that I use Copic markers on, and I loved the coloring that I got with my Copic markers. So there we go. Oh, and you know, I had written down the pounds on this, and I don't see it. Let's see. Nope, I don't have it here. There are several people in this collaboration, and I'm sure that one of them will tell you the pounds, because I don't want to tell you wrong, and I had looked it up, and I have spaced out on the number. There we go. I still have to trim the stem off of this one, but we can do it after the fact. There we go. I find yellow to be a color that's a little bit tricky to get just the right yellow that you want, and I really like this canary yellow. It's bright, but it's not garish. You know, it's a soft bright white, or a soft bright yellow, if that makes sense. You know, sometimes it almost like is very orangey, like it almost has a school bus look to it. This does not have that. It is true yellow. And I compared it to a lot of the other yellows that I had in my stash, and I love this. This is kind of like the yellow I've always been searching for. So I was truly happy to get to find that. Now on this little mushroom, I decided just to leave him all yellow. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do our leaves in just a moment, our greenery and our flowers. Get those all ready. But let's go ahead and glue down our grass. And when I add the glue to my paper, I'm just going to run it right along the bottom. That way the top edge will still be loose and I'll be able to tuck things into it. Because some of my mushrooms I'm going to put on top, but some of my mushrooms I want to be able to slip them down behind the grass as if they're in the background rather than the foreground. All right. So I think I'm going to put this one about right here, and then these two over on this side. There we go. So that's going to kind of the beginning of my scene. So let's decide how we want our green pieces to be. Now all of these I can cut them apart so that I can have more flowers. So some of them I'll leave tall, some of them I'm going to cut off short so I can use them at different levels on my scene. All right, so this one that has a nice long end, I'm going to use that one on this by putting the glue here. Oops, I'm in trouble picking it up. And now we'll just glue those two together just like that. And go ahead and use my tweezers to hold that for me while I move on. So I was able, the long stem that I left from the flower, I just glued it behind the green. All right, and then this one that has the, excuse me, the green on top, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the stem from this and glue it right down to this one. There we go. All right, so I'm basically going to do all my flowers the exact same way, giving myself some different height. There we go. I find building with die cuts like this to create a scene with just using the paper and the die cuts, that's very relaxing. I've seen some people that are able to die cut in white and then just color up the die and give a beautiful scene. But I don't feel as comfortable doing it that way as I do die cutting it out of different color cardstock and building it up that way. So I guess it's just whatever your talents are, whatever you're good at, that would decide which way you prefer doing it. Some of you will have to share with me the way that you like to do it, or do you just mix it up and do it both ways? I rarely die cut them all in white and then use a marker to make my scene. I don't feel like I'm that good of a colorist, but I envy those that can do it that way. But I love having gorgeous papers because I tend to do it this way most of the time. All right. So let's see. I'm just going to start adding my flowers. And it's okay if they go, I'll trim those off. But for now, I'm going to leave them. I think I want some of these back behind my big mushroom. There we go. Trim that one off, and tuck him right back here. I think I'm going to trim this one off and have him right about here. All right, so that's about how I'm going to put them back behind my mushroom. Now I know I can let this mushroom hang off this one edge because I'm going to be mounting it on other frames. So now that I have that, we're going to go ahead and put some more of our flowers down here by our okay, now that I decided where I want them, we can start gluing them down. Kind of want him tucked back behind this flower. There we go. Right, and then this one is going to go right up beside between the other two blues, just so we have a variation of the colors of blue. All right, to finish this off, I'm going to put one over here on this side, back behind this one. Go. And then this one, I'm going to trim it off so it's a little shorter, and he's going to be right there beside the other. All right, so now that I have my flowers down, I'm going to go ahead and glue these two smaller mushrooms down. Again, these in the back are going to be tucked behind the grass. And then for this one, I'm going to put him on top of the grass. All right, this one right here. Right in here, I think. Did I put my flowers down too far? Maybe a little bit. Okay, there we go. Wanted to turn him a little bit so his body covers up more of that greenery mess down there, but I still want to be able to see my flowers. There we go. All right. All right, so we're ready to set our panel aside. Look at those beautiful colors together. Aren't they pretty? Really enjoyed working with this paper. All right, let's grab our, I had one more piece of white that I have set aside. Here it is. Okay, this is one piece of white that I had left. This is all I had left of my white. And we're going to go ahead and stamp one image and just do a little bit of coloring so that you can see how beautifully the Copics worked on this paper. And I am using the new Garden Bunnies. All right, and for my Copic colors today, I picked B02 and BG05, RV25, RV23, and RV11, YG09 and YG06, and then C1 as my gray. And I'm going to start by adding just a little bit of the darker blue, kind of along his blue jeans and down here by his pocket. My markers are very juicy, so I have to touch lightly. I just filled them not long ago. Now we're just going to blend that darker into the blue. Yes, I have already placed an order to order some of this white to be my new Copic coloring. I really like the way it took the ink, the way it blended, and the finished result. It's got that kind of matte finish look that I really like. All right, now for my ladybug, I'm going to use the RV25. It's over here on his body. And, oops, we're going to use the RV23 for his face and his spots. That may not be the way a ladybug is truly colored, but I didn't want to color his face black or dark gray. So I'm going to use my darker green, the YG09, just add a little bit of shadow under my ladybug in the veins of the leaf. And then I'll fill that in with my YG06. Oh, while I have my green out, I also wanted to give my little bunny green eyes. All right, there's my other, wrong one. Now with the RV11, I'm going to do my bunny's nose, his ears, and the little balls of his feet. The only other thing I'm going to do is use my gray color just to flick myself some color onto he's a white bunny, so I don't have to do very much here. Just give him a little bit of shading. Alright, so that is all I did to color up my bunnies, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the end result. Look at that. Isn't that pretty how it took the color and how well it stamped? And I also want to show you the back side, because yeah, you can see a little bit, but you know what? On most of the other papers I use, I see more than that. So I was quite pleased. I got my little girl in here. Again, the brown was really about the only one that showed any on the other side. And then our little boy with the flowers. He's got blue eyes. All right. So somebody is going to win a set of the Island Breeze papers, and they'll get to experience for themselves how great they are to work with. So let's go ahead and glue this all together and decide what we want our sentiment to say. I hadn't really decided which bunny I wanted to use. That pearlescence on the white paper is a really pretty addition around this little card. All right, so since we have our flowers, I thought this little guy might be nice. But I think in the end, I'm going to go with this little guy right here, because I just love that little pink ladybug in there with our bunny. All right, now I'll try this, but I don't think this is what I'm going to like. We could do two, but I think that's just too crowded. I think I prefer just the little bunny laying in the grass. Oops, I forgot to try the little girl. Oh, there's our little girl with her pretty hat. I colored her dress to try to match the dress, but I just really like this one. So, okay, let's look at the sentiments. And I think you make me LOL. I think I'm going to go with that one. I am going to put a little bit of foam behind my bunny because my mushrooms have so many layers to them, and with the green under it, it'll make him lopsided. So I'm going to put just a little bit under him. All right, his feet, that's going to be on the mushroom. I don't need to put any on that part. Just glue those down. There we go, and we'll put our sentiment. I often do my sentiments at the beginning, but I just wasn't sure what I wanted it to say since I hadn't picked my bunny yet. I considered doing my sentiment in a different color, but I think I'm just going to go with black since my bunny was stamped in black. Okay. Here we go. All right, so the final thing is to add him to our beautiful card base here. I'm so sorry that I forgot to put it to memory, like exactly the weight of this cardstock. On the website, they have a beautiful chart for the Island Breeze. When you go to the Island Breeze set, it's got a beautiful chart that tells you all the color names, all the weights of the paper, and you know, it just gives you all the details of everything you need to know about the paper that you're purchasing. So there's no question about what you're getting. And like, can you hear that? I mean, I wish you could feel how nice this is. Tell you, I got spoiled working with this beautiful paper. Okay, now I'm going to show you side by side with regular paper. Can you see the difference in the vibrancy of the colors? I mean, look at the green, look at the yellow, look at the background of the sky. To me, I mean, there's just no comparison. The colors on these paper are gorgeous. So thank you so much for joining the collab. Like I said, there are several other designers that are using this exact same set of paper, the Island Breeze from Cardstock Warehouse. And you're going to want to check out their makes to see all the different ways that everybody has put together their Whimsy products with the Island Breeze pack from the Cardstock Warehouse. And you can go to cardstockwarehouse.com and just put Island Breeze there in the search bar, and you'll see the pack that we're using, but they have lots of others as well. So any of the products I use from Whimsy Stamps will be listed below this video. So if you are interested in any of those, you'll be able to click on those and go to whimsystamps.com. So, all right, I think that's all I have. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you enjoy some crafting, and it's a joy to work with good cardstock. So treat yourself with that. Okay, have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.